October is probably my favorite time of the year. There's so much to be excited about: candy, costumes, pizza. Why is it the whole month of October I want pizza? What I really want, though, is a good scary story. Because for some reason, since childhood, I have desperately craved to be scared. Check in with my therapist for that answer later. Unfortunately, there's a lot more scary things going on in the world. So, before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk about something really scary: Hurricane Helene. As a North Carolina resident for the past decade, my heart hurts for the current state of Western North Carolina. In the description of this episode, I've included some information on where you can donate. Please take a moment below to learn more about what you can do. I also want to just sincerely thank everybody for listening. It means the world to me that you're here, especially because, for those of you who don't know, I'm Hope Acosta. Welcome to Even Otter Podcast. Tuesday. Look, I have a crush on Samara Weaving. I think we all do. I want to be honest. Did I love this movie just because she's in it? I'll admit, I did. Back in 2019, before I even saw the movie. But Ready or Not has a special place in my heart for another reason. It was one of the last movies I saw in theaters before the pandemic hit. During that time, I held on to those theater experiences, unsure of when I would get to go back. Now that theaters are somewhat back to normal, I'll try to check some of that nostalgia, but I make no promises when it comes to Ready or Not. Imagine this: you just married the love of your life, and instead of a romantic honeymoon, you find yourself being hunted through a sprawling mansion by your new in laws. Starring the incredible Samara Weaving, Ready or Not throws us headfirst into a high stakes game of hide and seek, where survival is anything but child's play. Grace, our badass bride, quickly goes from happily ever after to hell on earth when she realizes that this family game night is actually a fight for her life.
Fuck.
Ready or Not has a standout cast. Annie McDowell and Henry Czerny, I think I'm saying that right, fully make me believe that they are the parents of this fucked up family. Adam Brody convinces me and everyone to love him from the moment he steps on screen. And Samara Weaving is an absolute standout as Grace. One of my favorite details in the first act of the film is how unaware Grace is of the events that are about to follow. While technically none of the characters know, they know.
None of us expected to be doing this tonight. I got a tea time at 8.
Come on, they knew. Her name is Grace. This movie is so fun, from start to finish. It combines dark humor with high stakes and some pretty intense moments. I hate to start the movie reviews off with bias, but Ready or Not will always get an 11 out of 10 from me, if not higher. Wednesday. Growing up, I had the privilege of going to Universal Studios in California. It was there that I fell in love with the Backlot Tour. If you're unfamiliar with the Backlot Tour, you as a park guest are taken on a tram ride through various sound stages, sets, and iconic filming locations. Iconic locations like Amity Island, but more importantly for this conversation, Courthouse Square. The infamous square where Marty McFly has not one, not two, but I think 3 chase scenes? I'm a little fuzzy on the Western one. Iconic nonetheless. Anyways, Back to the Future, and more importantly, Totally Killer. Let's talk. Totally Killer follows the story of Jamie, a 17-year-old girl whose life takes a wild turn when she encounters a mass serial killer. After a twist of fate sends her back in time to 1987, Jamie must team up with her teenage mother and her mom's friends to stop the killer before he strikes again. This wild crossover between slasher, 80s comedy and time travel has everything working for it when it feels like nothing should. You see, I'm a sucker for 80s movies, and the way that Totally Killer is able to capture the latter half of that decade, juxtaposed to the norms of the 2020s that we've all grown accustomed to, was hilarious. I've seen the movie now 3 times. It's fun, a great rewatch, and cross generational, which I'm a big fan of. Kiernan Shipka is fantastic as the main character, Jamie, but the real standout casting here is Olivia Holt, who plays a young version of Jamie's mom in the 80s, Pam Miller. They nailed this casting. Throughout the movie, they show these real time flash forwards in Jamie's head as she connects the individuals that she meets in the 80s, like her mom and her dad, to the ones that she knows in 2023. It's not my favorite stylistic decision, but man, does it pay off when it cuts between Olivia Holt and Julie Bowen, who plays the older version of Jamie's mom. I love a good reference, and man, this film is loaded with them. Our main character's name, Jamie Hughes, isn't only in reference to the infamous Jamie Lee Curtis, but also a head nod to John Hughes, known for 80s classics like The Breakfast Club. Personally, I'm obsessed with the vernacular in this film, but I really want to hear from you guys. What's your favorite reference made in Totally Killer? Leave it in the comments below. Look, I've got no authority to rate these movies, but it's my podcast, so Totally Killer gets an 8.7 out of 10. Thursday. First up for Thriller Thursdays, we've got Barbarian.
Oh, hell yeah.
Barbarian begins with Tess, a young woman arriving at a rental home late at night, only to find it's already occupied by a mysterious man named Keith. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night. What starts as an awkward mix-up soon spirals into a nightmare as Tess uncovers dark and disturbing secrets hidden beneath the house. Full of unexpected twists, Barbarian is a terrifying thriller that keeps you guessing until the very end. Honestly, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Barbarian, because so much of what works for this film is not knowing anything about it. Georgina Campbell, who plays Tess, and Alexander Skarsgård in the role of Keith, are a force together in the first act of this film. This movie also does a great job of bouncing between characters, which is where Justin Long comes into the mix as AJ. And he plays the role of a Hollywood douchebag just a little too well. Hats off, Justin Long, and hats off, Barbarian. If you have any time at all this October, check it out. It'll definitely have you questioning your next Airbnb visit. 4 out of 5 stars on Verbo. Friday. We've all been just like the tiniest bit scared of Insidious since 2010, right? Anytime I hear that stupid song, I am instantly taken back and want to say, "Be gone, red-faced demon." We've had plenty of great movies since 2010, but the cultural zeitgeist that surrounded Insidious, Paranormal Activity, and The Conjuring in the years following 2010 was fucking crazy. I like the others, but Insidious is the kingpin of the three for me. Let's discuss. Insidious follows the Lambert family as they move into a new home only to have their son Dalton fall into an inexplicable coma. As strange events begin to unfold, the family learns that Dalton's spirit is trapped in a sinister realm known as the Further. With the help of paranormal experts, they attempt to rescue him from malevolent entities that want to claim his soul. Directed by James Wan, Insidious is a chilling supernatural horror that combines jump scares, eerie atmospheres, and a haunting journey into the unknown. During my rewatch this week, Insidious did start off a bit slower than I remembered, but there are some truly unsettling moments in this film. For instance, when Rose Byrne's character, Renee, first hears that god-awful song, I'm left wondering, why the hell is this little boy jamming so hard? And I'm as panicked as she is. When he burst out of that wardrobe giggling and runs right over her, in real life, I think my heart would stop. She handles it remarkably well, which brings me to one of my tiny criticisms of the Insidious franchise. Josh Lambert, played by Patrick Wilson. I'm not the biggest Patrick Wilson fan. I find his characters rather awkward and just a little too one note. But man, the way he gaslights Rose Byrne's character in this film convinces me to hate him. And also, to whoever decided to cast him for The Conjuring 3 years later and confused me for years to come, I hate you. I'm just kidding. I hate you. Moving on, how can we not talk about Lynn Shay? Elise carries this whole franchise on her back. Lynn Shay is the ultimate ghost hunter, and I'm so convinced of her performance every time, especially in the ending scenes of Insidious. If you haven't already, give Insidious a rewatch this October. And maybe Insidious 2, because the ending of Insidious makes you want to watch the second one immediately. I'm gonna give Insidious 8.4 out of 10 red doors. Make it stop! Ugh, fine, a 9. A movie I had never seen, and one I first saw in theaters way back in 2018. Hey, that rhymed. Hellfest and Fear Inc. I want to be so honest with you. I did not intend for Fear Inc. to be a part of my list. I accidentally mistook it for another film, Bloodfest, that is frankly a bit more similar to Hellfest. But, that's a mishap. And we're rolling with it. And I'm glad we did, because while Fear Inc. is not a great movie, it was my most unexpected watch of the week for several reasons. We'll get to that. But first, a summary. Fear Inc. follows Joe, a thrill seeker who's grown tired of predictable scares. When he signs up for a mysterious service that promises to bring his worst fears to life, Joe quickly realizes that some games shouldn't be played. What starts as an exciting thrill spirals out of control as Joe and his friends face terrifying and dangerous situations that blur the line between stage frights and real horror. The acting in this is bad. But if you want a ridiculous, funny, and what feels like sometimes an unintentional spoof movie, Fear Inc. is for you. Fear Inc. impressed me quite a bit, because not only is it littered with tons of horror movie references and tons of satirical humor, but also multiple twist endings that kept me guessing almost the whole movie. If I had a piece of criticism I really wanted to offer, they used one too many Drew Barrymore references. We get it. Scream. Iconic. It's on the list. Fear Inc. gets a 6.5 out of 10 for good effort and good laughs. Remember how I told you I got to go to Universal Studios as a kid? Well, my first time there was for Halloween Horror Nights, and I was terrified. I kinda thought it was gonna be no big deal because I loved all things scary, but what I failed to realize was I did not love all things scary. Most notably, clowns. I'm pretty sure that my scream from clowns walking all around me with chainsaws might be ingrained in my mom's head forever. We're probably all somewhat familiar with the angst and anxiety there is before walking into any haunted house. And man, does that feeling draw me back to movies exactly like Hellfest. Hellfest takes us to a horror-themed amusement park where scares are meant to be all in good fun, until a real killer infiltrates the park. As a group of friends navigates haunted mazes and rides, they find themselves stalked by someone who's not pretending. What was supposed to be an exciting night out becomes a deadly game of survival in the slasher that will make you think twice about haunted attractions. Another film filled with questionable acting and story progression. As mediocre as Hellfest may come across, I do appreciate the ambiance it tries to capture, and the unfurling of events once the characters are actually in the park. As the friend group is picked off and the chaos truly begins to break out, you might start to ask yourself, why did they waste so much time at the beginning of this movie? Especially because the last 30-ish minutes of this film has the most tension to offer. I am a fan of this movie's final scene. It's definitely a strangers-like moment. Psyche of the killer that we don't often get in simple slasher films like this one. Hellfest gets a 6 out of 10. And that's our movies for this week. How about the next? Stick around to find out. Tonight, our first sultry Sunday. Another I've yet to see. the 1992 film Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Die, die, die. I can't.
Monster Monday brings us one of my favorite movies from 2022, Nope. I got another Samara Weaving flick this Tuesday with The Babysitter.
I mean, I'm not even mad. I'm a little surprised.
They're creepy and they're kooky. Watch the 1991 Addams Family this whimsical Wednesday. I'm so excited for Thriller Thursday this week. The Invisible Man up next. Frightful Friday is a new favorite from 2024, The First Omen. Try not to fillet me for picking this one over The Omen, because this is hands down one of the best horror prequels to ever exist. Every October needs zombies, and that's exactly what we're doing this same but different Saturday. The double feature includes Dawn of the Dead and Shaun of the Dead. Do me a favor, watch Dawn of the Dead first. It makes immediately watching Shaun of the Dead 10 times better, and you know it.
No, seriously, Mary, I'm warning you, okay? I'm gonna have to get physical. I mean it.
These first few days of October have been so much fun. I have been enjoying putting way too much effort into Halloween this year, and I really appreciate all my friends that have been wanting to celebrate with me so far. There are some important things in the world I want to touch on real quick because, this is a movie and TV show podcast, but voting registration deadlines are coming soon, so make sure you're registered. It's important. Also, I know I mentioned it earlier, but if you have a moment, please take a look at some of the information below to find out where you can donate to those affected by Hurricane Helene. Small contributions have the power to become big ones. Anyway, I think that's a wrap for this week's episode, but I hope you'll be following along this week because we have another super awesome lineup. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you are even odder than you were before.
Yeah, bitch.